Anything type beats on the beat, bitch. Who the fuck is calling me?
Vrchats has a lewd degeneracy problem. Oh wait, hold up, I know you guys won't take me serious. Vrchats has a lewd degeneracy problem. Now, being a person that has been here for a good little bit of time, I can pretty much put a little bit of a stake on why people do the things that they do in this game. I'm not saying these things don't exist. I'm saying most people have a focused view of these things from seeing the content that they see online from other creators. The truth of the matter is, most VR players that have been here for a while also hate those people that you see in those videos. People try to distance themselves from those people that do the stuff in public and do things in Friends Plus and things where other people can see. Most of the weird things that you see done are done in private worlds and in curated places that typically don't have that kind of pull. I'm not saying that it's not degenerate that we do this. I'm just saying that we try to keep it to private world. Oh, I can't say we. Can't do it. I keep it to the private world. Let me tell you from a perspective of a guy who's been here for a while, what usually really happens. Truth of the matter is, it's usually just homies in a private world, usually starting with a movie world that just has some touchy-ish things that then go into a little bit of fun. You know, places like this, where you just sit and watch a movie and a little something happens every now and then. But as most of you guys, how are you attracted to 3D models? That's just weird, dude. Why would you be attracted to 3D models? Interactive prawn. I said it. Interactive prawn. That's all it is. The rabbit hole that this stuff goes down is pretty fucking quick, and it usually has something to do with just seeing it. Again, I'm not saying it's any less degenerate. I'm just saying, this is usually how it happens. The typical pipeline of this is people see something feminine that appears on their screen with some 3D, and it's a lot fucking different of a feeling seeing it through your eyes in a 3D space versus seeing the shit on a screen. Your computer monitor is a screen. How is that any different, Mr. Nitro Man? Trust me, a headset and being in the view of this will change your view of things pretty fucking quickly. As I said, it's a rabbit hole. It happens slowly. Typically, the people under like 500 hours don't really have this problem. It usually happens when you become chronically online. Now, the rabbit hole usually goes something like this. Around about the 500 hour mark or so, when people start getting around in the headset, they find something feminine that they like. Please do not eat me alive about this. I am using default things for the default people to understand. Now, being that you're going to like something feminine, you're going to naturally be attracted to it. The same thing you would look at in prawn or things like that. That was a fucking horrible descriptor. But nevertheless, you're attracted to feminine stuff. So, when you come in game, imagine your eyes the first time you see something feminine, 3D, that you can physically almost reach out and touch. Is it the real deal? No, but it's a lot closer than normal. Now, being that you like this femme thing, you actually don't even need another person to be in the damn thing, because you can just fucking spawn these things. Now, being that you can spawn them, imagine how it is when you can actually pilot it. Now, for the sake of everyone else, typically the first ones look something like this, with, you know, the little bits and bobs. And just like on some Warframe shit, I'm piloting another frame. I'm a masculine dude. I have no reason to be in this. But guess what? I can still look at it. And typically, this is how that rabbit hole starts. They see something like this, they can get in it, or they see a friend that has it, and they can look at it, and they enjoy it. And being that at any point in time, you can easily just change it up whenever you want, you can be whatever you want in this game. Again, my voice doesn't match the avatar, but with a muted mic or a little bit of fucking voice changers, people can do what they want. And seeing as how it is so easy to just change models, there's this thing called role-playing, and when you do that, you can pretend that you are the model that you're in. You're not taking it serious. It's just role-play. Now, Mr. Self-Reporting Furry Man, what does that have to do with the fucking thing? When you're role-playing, you're not yourself. So, you get some boosts in confidence. And being that most people have a good bit of social problems that are playing this game and use this game to up their social skills, even though I know that's a little sad, it's still a social skill. A skill needs to be honed. People use that newfound confidence to do whatever they want, to try some new stuff. And alongside that new stuff, they typically get the strength to use that model and walk up to someone else and speak. Now remember, I just said most people are fucking socially inept when they do this stuff. But having this cute little character or something gives them that confidence to go speak to somebody. Stay with me now. Now that these people have gone up and talked to somebody else, maybe the other person is doing the same thing. They're role-playing something that they're not. Or maybe they're just trying something different. Shit example, but just like at a bar, most of you aren't what you say you are there. You're just trying to get something real quick. Now again, for most people, this is where things start to change. It starts with the desktop mode, seeing the little avatars in 2D and 3D, moves over to the headset where they can actually physically reach and touch. Then it moves into the full body where they can actually control the fucking model entirely, pilot it, and do whatever they want with it, with every single part of it. Now, most of the VR community is going to be in half body or lower, quests, things like that, so you're never really going to see that. The people you have a problem with, the people you see that do the crazy stuff, are typically the full body people. And being that there are a plethora of ways to do it now when it used to only be the Vive pucks, you're seeing more and more people doing weirder and weirder things because there's a lot lower ceiling to get in and there's no real barriers of entry other than, do you know how to use technology? And at this point, even a fucking phone. Again, this is where it comes in. You have a problem with the people that you see on the videos that do that kind of things that are an outlier, that speak louder than the people that are being quiet and doing the things without saying anything. The literal pipeline that how the things you guys see happens in a normal world are a lot different. You go from that model that you were trying, poking around a million different things until you finally find that one thing that you can consider a sauna or the thing that you want to stay in. You then either, one, keep up a really good roleplay that stays with that model, or you introduce your own personality into it so that the person that is next to you or around you can get to know who the real you is. After a good few hours of getting to know them, you then get to add them. Let's be real for a minute. It's usually a few minutes. It's furries. We just instantly add anyone. But again, the pipeline for this is pretty simple. You get to know a person, you hang out with them for a good little while, and things start to be a little weird. Now again, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but I'm going to speak for the way that things usually happen. You get to know a friend, it gets to be a world where you're watching a movie, or you're doing something, and it gets to be like 2 a.m. You know damn well who's behind the model, the personality, but you like the look of the model, or you like the voice that they're doing. And either it goes to some light wiggling, dancing, some hand rubbing, whatever you want to think, just input whatever you think would happen. And guess what? Your brain actually likes the thing because it's feminine. And you like it. And usually it's with a friend you trust already, so you're just playing around and not really taking it serious anyway. Things happen. You get yourself off, or you just enjoy a little bit of fun with a friend, and you go right back to watching the movie, or getting the fuck off of VR. Nah, Nitro guy, we wouldn't be doing that with homies. We don't do that. Nah, man, we get females out here. Nah, that's that weird shit. We ain't that gay. We can't be having that around my group. Then fucking don't have it around your group. People do shit for different reasons. You don't have to announce your disdain of what you see. Most people know that it's degenerate. They just try to be mildly degenerate. None of you will give a shit, but I'll explain the reason that I do it so you can understand a little bit moving forward. I'm 27. I've almost been married. I've been in relationships that have lasted over a year, multiple different times. I've been around pretty much every type of female and male that you can really be around in most settings, and done the deed plenty of times, and I still enjoy doing things in here because of the ease of access of messing around. Again, it's just interactive prawn. Well, and enlarged prostate that makes every time that I have sex hurt like an absolute motherfucker, but that doesn't really matter, would it? Me doing something and it, feeling like knife blades and burning and almost to the point where there would be blood nearly every time. That wouldn't really matter, would it? You're not doing things with a real woman. You're with 3D woman, so that we don't give a shit about that. You're still just a weird fucking furry degenerate. I can understand that. I get it. I'm only speaking for myself. But, just to show you from a different perspective of some reasons people might do things, just to let you hear from a different angle. And believe me, with VR chat moving forward more and more, people are going to start doing this more and more. And numbers really don't lie with VR chat, because when they tried to remove 18 plus stuff from this game once before, the numbers quite literally tanked. Don't one of you say the EAC thing, that's what caused it, the EAC thing. There was a time before that in 2018, 2019. That's what I'm talking about. It got to a point where people were tired of seeing the shit in fucking public worlds, so they introduced this. 18 plus, that means retarded, you have to fucking pay to even do it, but 18 plus lobby, so you can guarantee that the people you're messing with are 18, which removes the problem of minors and things, so you can just go to worlds with friends and do what you fucking want. We got the weird furry guy to get loud. We got the weird furry guy to get loud. He really is a degenerate. He's mad. And trust me, I can already see you guys trying to make the comments for it, so I'm going to edit it for you myself. The big thing to simply explain is when you see most people doing things, they're doing it in private worlds with friends they've been with for a long time, and it's literally, though it sounds hella retarded and hella gay to say, it's just homies messing around with each other. And guess what? They do it, and they don't really talk about it the next day, or really ever after that. It only happens at the 2 a.m. twilight zone. The people you have a problem with are the literal lewd degenerates that are on this game that continue to make it their entire personality. Nah, Nitro guy, you can't be talking about these other people like that. Nah, man, I've done seen your Twitters and seen your other content, man. And I would be a prime example to show you guys this. My entire personality is not this. I've been a content creator and making things in general since like 2006. I know the fucking difference between the two. Is a lot of my content on other places a little bit 18 plus sometimes? Absolutely. I just like making things. Regardless, even if I didn't do that kind of stuff, I'd be making worlds. I'd be doing something with creation somewhere. I'm doing something 24/7. I'm just kind of wired like that. This has nothing to do with really anything, man. You're just yapping. I've already skipped a good bit forward, man. This is where I get into the actual degeneracy of the people you see and the problems and where they stem from. Now, most of this VR degeneracy stuff, when it was smaller, had to deal with not a lot of people having full body, but in the recent terms, the things that have really caused it is the allowing of spaces for people to feel comfortable to do it. Used to, when you did things, you had to really search, like it was a damn forum board to find this kind of thing to go around, because everyone would immediately shun you and destroy you for this. So you had to have a strong group and a support group to really do it, to not get shunned by a million people. That's where the After Dark thing started. Oh, y'all are going to immediately bring up the Twitter. Now, it started with Discord. For the more furry people, you might have heard of a thing called TNG. You know what that is. You pretty much guess where this is going. People had things in their Discord channels that were called smut areas, or VR smut. These smut areas were where people would use whatever they could find in worlds, because attaching the devices on models didn't really have a thing yet. So people would use whatever they could in worlds to make nice little images and post them on Discord.
So this is before dicks were invented.
I know. That is such a fucking crazy sentence to say. And I love.
There were little to no reactions of this. People never even really used it for more than a quick get off, and they'd get out. They wouldn't even contact the person that was there. You would look at the image, maybe know the person, maybe not, see it, and move on about your day. People did it for the social gratitude, or to be able to say, yeah, I did it, or try to get more people around. Then this little thing called After Dark Twitters became a really big thing, and after these things became something, guess what? Now you were basically rewarded for doing these kinds of things. The instant social gratitude from seeing number go up made a lot of people start trying to turn this into a business and making things on Patreon, Fansly, and things like that, which caused a whole horde of things to start happening. VRChat tried to take a stance against this at one point and, started banning After Dark people, but most of the time it was just rats inside the community trying to get rid of other people like streamers, yada yada yada. You should probably already know that. But just as before, it got bypassed by people saying it's a render. Yeah, it's not really a render. People already know that. But you cannot prove it. This little oversight caused everything to start happening. The degeneracy you see stems from people starting to be able to, one, make numbers off of this for the instant social gratitude, and then two, people started making money from this. And when money gets in anything, guess what? It's over. Now, once people started making the money from all this stuff, it started going around, it took another step. Remember how I said people need these little groups of things, as a little support group to do things? Well, what makes people even more in that mood? Alcohol. Yeah, that was a mistake. Alcohol basically resolves all those social problems people have and make them able to just speak and do what they want, but also it makes them want to be around people that also do that. And after a few drinks and a nice little recording on OBS and some friends with some stream cameras, guess what? You now have lewd demons running around making this content for numbers. You have the alcohol that has now become a staple for people to get them social, and you have no real way to take it down because furries basically have no real way to fix what they do. Most of them, what the fuck? Most of them lack the fucking self-control to stop this shit, and when you've got a bunch of people running around essentially trying their best to make you feel comfortable with what you're doing, guess what? You're not really going to have that much of a support group. There's 50 drinking people and only 2 that aren't, and there's no designated drivers and no anything that forcefully stops you from doing this. The problem just continues to surge. What are you going to do? Virtually slap them and stop them? So they stop when they're blackout drunk? Or whenever they can just decide, oh yeah, VR is crashing, or something of that sort. Nitro, this means nothing. Get to the fucking point. The point being, when you have a support group, things like that, you've got number going up. You're going to continue doing the thing because one guy telling you this probably isn't the best idea, you probably shouldn't be doing that, isn't really going to be enough to push you over and say, these 49 people want me to keep going, you want me to stop, I'm going to go with these guys. And that, my friends, is the rampant problem that starts a loop. People now want NSFW avatars and things like that to join these party worlds on the weekend. And once they get them on the weekend, guess what? They don't have a reason for them anymore, so they usually make them public, or they just start sharing them to friends, which then creates an epidemic of a bunch of people trying to make as many things as possible that are like that to appease to a group, which then spawns the trickle-down effect into the rest of VRChat of the people that aren't a part of those groups and things that just so happen to catch wind of some of it and start using. It's human nature. You don't want to be left out. You want to be a part of the cool group, right? Which means pushing yourself to your utter limits to be able to fit in with people. Because again, most don't have a lot of self-control, nor do they have a crazy amount of friends because their social skills are very lacking, so things just kind of happen. You just sound like an angry old guy, bro. Just stop doing the degenerate shit, man. Just lay off of it, bro. Well, like I said, I just did my best to explain the trickle-down effects and where all this stuff comes from to the best of my ability. I absolutely know that I'm a degenerate. I just try to be one of those mildly degenerates. Like to make stuff, like to render stuff, that just so happens some of it comes up like that. But still, I can see through everyone else's eyes what they see of me. Basically part of the problem. I'm just a weird dude with a voice trying to explain what most people feel. Correction, so the comments don't do it. What some people feel, but are too scared to say because they don't want to be fucking ostracized. And I'm way beyond that. So I say it all to bring it back to the last point. It's mainly just homies doing stuff. They don't really feel good about it, or they might feel good about it the next day. But typically, they just do something. It happens during the twilight hours, and nothing gets spoken about it pretty much ever again. The people that do it in the publics, the people that do all that stuff, don't condone that shit. Keep it to the private worlds. If you want to do the posts and things like that, ensure that the models that you're using are something completely different or are your own, and blur the names of people that are in it so they don't get really found out. So you can just have your... In the end, this game is just about making friends, making memories, having some little social things to do, and basically being a 3D version of fucking Discord. And with the face tracking and stuff now, it's easy to portray a lot of emotions very quickly, as you can tell by how much I move around when I do things. It's all for fun. Don't take things seriously. Dim it if you want. People are still going to do it. I'm just explaining where it came from. And lastly, stop thinking you need fucking alcohol to socialize. Get your social skills better through speaking to people.